What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rick. Spent a wonderful night with Mtashed. Kakus here. Wait, that came out wrong. Anyways, today, guys, we have some crazy Destiny 2 information. Some brand new exotic weapons coming in the Witch Queen have just been revealed via a leaked trailer. Now, I tend to stay far away from leaked information, like any sort of posts about story content a year from now, I will not touch. However, this is an official trailer, and it's already out there and playing in front of stuff like YouTube videos. Heck, you might have actually seen it at the very beginning of this video, and therefore I am going to cover it, but again, it comes with a warning. If you want to stay spoiler free, stop watching now. And we're not covering any story content, it's just gear. But let's take a look at this brand new Witch Queen exotic weapons trailer. So right off the bat, we have this Titan shooting this absolutely crazy weapon. It looks like it has lightning effects coming out of it every time it's shot, but if we take a look at the structure, it does very much resemble the structure of trace rifles, right? It's got the two like different parts up top and then it's hollow right through the middle, and again, that's what you see in trace rifles all the time. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this was a trace rifle. However, you see almost like semi-automatic fire. You don't see that traditional held trace rifle fire, and so that is actually really interesting. Something else really interesting is that only in this beginning footage, when we look at the other weapons, you guys will notice this right away, at the bottom, you can actually see Season Pass required, and then it disappears for the rest of the trailer. So perhaps this weapon, what we're seeing right here, this potentially trace rifle, is what you're going to get for the Season 16 Season Pass exotic. But aside from that, not really too much of this exotic is shown off in the trailer. Calling it now, heavy exotic trace rifle Seasons Pass weapon. There it is. Okay, moving on from there, we see a very crazy weapon. What appears to be a grenade launcher is started with getting reloaded with some green goop. Then it shoots out a hive worm. Like, look at this thing. What? This is absolutely wild. Now, it does kind of just appear out of thin air. It looks a little janky, to be perfectly honest, but this really appears to be something like the Hive version of the already existing Colony exotic grenade launcher. Now, that thing will shoot out a little robot that will land and then seek after enemies. And so that's already cemented itself as a pretty deadly weapon. Like, even now, you hear those little robots crawling around, like, you just start jumping because you don't want to get hit by them. Could this be like very similar to that in the sense that this little hive worm will actually seek out enemies, will travel around once it's shot? That's very possible. However, what will the effect be? Will it explode? Will it like infect you? Do something? Perhaps the lore aficionados in the comment section can explain what exactly it means to get shot by a hive worm and what effect that has on you. But certainly this is something pretty interesting that I don't think any of us expected, a hive worm grenade launcher. Now guys, moving on from there, we see this Hive-themed SMG being shot. We've actually seen this quite a few times. As you can see right here, it's actually a part of the deluxe edition like bundle, so you're going to get access to the, we actually know the name, Osteo Striga exotic SMG. Now, as for what exactly it does, we're still a little bit in the dark, but taking a look at some other gameplay, it almost has a thorn-like effect and slow moving, almost like black hole type bullets that hit enemies, so could be a pretty crazy one. Moving on from there, guys, oh my goodness, what we have here appears to be an exotic glaive. Glaives, of course, are the brand new weapon type that are coming to Destiny 2 with the Witch Queen. They're actually going to be, and Bungie confirmed this, special weapons. So they're going to use special ammo, they're not heavies, and they're going to be melee weapons. Like, you could certainly hit enemies with your spear, but as we're actually seeing in this gameplay, they have ranged attacks as well. So the first one we see here is going to shoot out a void projectile, and that creates almost what looks like a Titan bubble. So perhaps, you know, maybe it doesn't last for as long or maybe isn't as powerful, but perhaps you could still use it to take shelter. Maybe it even gives you armor of light or weapons of light. That would be actually insane. Now, right after that, we see a solar glaive being shot. In fact, once that solar projectile hits the ground, it seemingly creates some sort of healing rift or something like that. And you're actually going to see in the next scene, first of all, you see someone with that exotic SMG shooting those like black hole rounds, but as they're shooting, they seem to almost like shoot the bubble that was created, shoot the, almost looks like a Noble Seeker round, and when the bullet goes through that Noble Seeker round, it seems to activate. So perhaps you can like shoot the Noble Seeker rounds almost, and it gives you extra health, it starts health regeneration, or perhaps it gives you like an empowering bonus, but it seems to be some sort of effect where you're shooting the ground with something that your allies can interact with, and that is really, really interesting. But then right after that, guys, I will go to the next one. We see an electric glaive, an arc glaive being shot, and you can actually see that electricity traveling along the ground forward. So likely this is going to hurt and start electrocuting any enemies caught within this. It's almost like a wave frame grenade launcher, right? Like similar to the Deafening Whisper, but a glaive and the arc version. Now I showed you all three of these because at the very beginning, you actually see the Guardian kind of like hit this weapon and do something to it, maybe like transform it. And I feel like this could actually be the same exact exotic weapon. These are not necessarily three different exotic glaives, one for each element, but perhaps, again, because of that little clip of him doing something to this glaive, perhaps you can, similar to weapons like the Hard Light and the Borealis sniper rifle, you can change the element, and each different elemental version is going to have slightly different heavy ranged attacks. That could be really darn cool. Or again, we're just seeing three different exotic glaives, one for each element, which would also be very cool. And then guys, moving on from there, for the final scene of this trailer, we see three Guardians utilizing three of the exotic weapons we've seen earlier in this trailer. Right up front, the Titan has that, potentially heavy trace rifle that we saw at the very beginning of the trailer. To the left, the Hunter has that exotic Hive SMG, and then to the right, the Warlock has the grenade launcher that shoots the Hive worms. In fact, in the next scene when they're battling Savathun, you see that little worm heading towards Savathun. That is honestly is the craziest exotic, man. I did not expect that. So something else you may want to notice is that very clearly the Titan seems to be using a brand new exotic helmet. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a skull with flaming, I wouldn't say horns per se, but each side of the skull helmet is flaming, so perhaps this is going to provide like a new bonus for solar subclasses or something like that, but definitely a very, very unique helmet. Now, potentially there's more exotics in here. I mean, something that stands out is the Hunter's shoulders. The Hunter's armor look pretty crazy. Like that's definitely something you don't see every day, and it stands out from the rest of the armor being used. It really looks like the normal sets that we've seen, these Witch Queen base sets a million times, and so you recognize something different. Like the Hunter is definitely using different gauntlets. The Titan is definitely using a different helmet than normal. I can't really tell if the Warlock is using anything different, from this footage, but certainly perhaps a little bit of a preview of some exotic armor as well. Don't know what it does yet, but certainly it's gonna be there. Guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.